As we've said before, language is inherently variable and keeps changing, so it's really shouldn't be something to be surprised about when language changes. At the same time, we can say something more specific about possible causes for particular instances of change. Let's look at some possible causes. All of this is pretty functional, and one functional reason for language to change is that we need to distinguish some meanings from others, and maybe some of those meanings are new. There are so many examples of this, but just as one possible example, nowadays, if somebody writes a letter on actual physical paper and puts it in a physical envelope, some people might call that snail mail. The word mail used to refer to that, but nowadays we might use mail to refer to digital communication. And so, if we want to specify that it's physical paper, somebody might call that snail mail. So, we have a new term, snail mail, for this reason. Another possible cause is to make something less effortful to articulate. An example of this is we used to have a word pronounced musician and it's become musician. It streamlines the pronunciation, the articulation process a bit. Another very important cause is that people would like their language to be more regular and systematic. And so often we make changes to make that come about. One thing that is by no means recent, but in some dialects, instead of himself, people say hisself. And by doing this, they make this system of reflexive pronouns more regular. By saying hisself, all the reflexives are the result of taking my, your, his, her, its, and adding self to it. In standard English, himself is an item that sticks out from an otherwise regular system. There are identity reasons also. People may want to make it clear, I'm one of us, we are us, I'm not one of those people over there. And sometimes that may lead them to exaggerate or modify certain aspects of their speech, maybe in a direction they were already going, but they might emphasize that. One aspect that Penelope Eckert has studied in Detroit, there's a certain high school where the young people themselves classify themselves as jocks or burnouts. Those are two of the groups at the school. And the young people who identify as jocks use certain innovations in vowel pronunciation more than the self-identified burnouts do. And so clearly there's a social reason for that, for wanting to convey a certain identity. And then I don't have examples for these, but you may be able to think of some. They happen a lot. The foreign influence of coming into contact with some other language or language variety and adopting those features, which could overlap with some of the above causes. And similarly, there could be social upheaval, or over time, if something refers to a taboo thing, then the euphemism becomes too closely associated with a taboo thing, and we go through a cycle of needing new euphemisms for referring to things that we are nervous or squeamish about. So these are some causes of language change.